All right, let's crack the code on a language that can feel, incredibly complex, but it's actually surprisingly simple once you know the secret. We're talking about the language of medical prefixes.
You're not alone, right? We've all been there, hearing some long, complicated term and just kind of nodding along. But getting a handle on this language is way more than a party trick. It's about feeling more confident, more in control when you're talking about your own health.
Okay, take a look at a word like pancytopenia. It seems intimidating, maybe even like a random jumble of letters, but I promise you, by the end of this short explainer, you're going to be able to look at this word and know exactly what it means.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll decode the language itself. Then, I'll show you a simple memory trick. We'll look at how to learn in pairs, figure out location and numbers, and finally, we'll put it all together with your very own decoder ring.
So here's the big secret. You don't need to memorize thousands of individual medical terms. No way. You just need to learn their building blocks. And a lot of the time, the most important piece, the one that gives you the most information, is that little part at the beginning, the prefix.
So how do we actually learn them? Well, it's definitely not about staring at flashcards for hours. The key is a really simple technique that's all about making connections.
It's just 3 steps. First, you look at a common prefix. Second, you connect it to a simple English word you already use every single day. And third, you see how that exact same meaning works in a medical term. Let's try it out right now.
Okay, take the prefix uni. You know what a unicycle is, right? It's a cycle with one wheel. So uni means one. Simple. Now look at the medical term unilateral. It just means affecting one side of the body. See? You already knew what it meant. You just had to connect the dots.
Now, if you want to speed things up, a great way to do that is to learn prefixes in opposing pairs. It's like getting a 2-for-1 deal for your brain. Let's look at speed. Tachy means fast. Brady means slow. So if you hear tachycardia, that's a fast heart rate. And bradycardia, you guessed it, a slow one. Simple, memorable, and super useful.
With this one, a single letter changes everything. Abduction, with a B, is movement away from the body. But adduction, with a D, is movement toward the body. A good way to remember it is you're adding the limb back to the body.
And pairs don't always have to be perfect opposites. Sometimes they just represent different points on a spectrum. For example, hyper means excessive or above normal, like in hyperthyroidism. Its counterpart, eu, just means good or normal. So a term like eupnea simply means normal, easy breathing. Okay, we've covered speed and direction, so now let's talk location. A lot of these prefixes act like a GPS for the body, telling you exactly where something is happening.
First up is inter, which just means between. A perfect example is intercostal, which refers to the muscles that are located right between the ribs.
Now don't get intermixed with its close cousin intra. Intra means within or inside. So an intramuscular injection, for instance, is a shot that goes directly within the muscle. So let's just pause here. What's the key difference? Inter is all about the location between two things, and intra is about being inside of one thing. Getting that distinction down is absolutely crucial. Another essential one for location is sub, which means below or under. If you've ever heard of a subcutaneous layer, that's just a layer of tissue that's located directly under the skin. Think submarine. It goes under the water.
Prefixes can also help us with something we do every single day, counting. And the great thing is, you probably already know most of these from other parts of your life.
This stuff is pretty straightforward, right? Uni means one, like we saw with unilateral. Bi means two, so bilateral affects both sides. Tri is 3, like your triceps muscle. Multi means many, and nully just means none or 0.
And now, we can finally go back to our mystery word from the beginning, pancytopenia. The prefix here is pan. Pan means all or total. That's it. So pancytopenia simply means a deficiency of all types of blood cells. Not so scary anymore, is it?
And just like that, you have the key. You've basically built your own virtual decoder ring to unlock the meaning of countless medical terms.
Here's a quick cheat sheet of some of the most useful pairs. We've got tachy versus brady for speed, ab versus ad for direction, hyper versus eu for scale, and even ante, meaning before, versus post, meaning after. Think of this as your starter pack for becoming fluent.
By getting a handle on these simple prefixes, you're doing so much more than memorizing words. You're learning the fundamental language of medicine. This isn't just about cracking a code, it's about giving yourself the power to ask smarter questions and be a true partner in your own healthcare. So the only question left is, what complex topic are you going to decide to understand next?